Hello everyone and welcome to The Theorist. As always, I'm your host, JC Botero67, and today we're focusing on the finale of WhoDunnIt. It took place last Sunday, so basically I'm going to review what happened and make some potential theories of what could happen in the next few seasons to come. So, we'll go ahead and start off with my failed prediction. You know, it's sad that I got it wrong, I admit, but, you win some, you lose some. So, as we saw, Melina disappeared in the fog, and she ended up being the next victim, after all. The way she died was interesting, because she was strangulated by those beads that we saw back in the episode when Gino was killed off. And so those were the beads that he originally had to wear to the luau party, which he never did. But, we saw those beads come back and play a part. So it was interesting to see, but it was also sad that Melina had to go out that way and not make it to the finals, either winning, as I had wanted her to in the beginning, or as the killer. So moving on. We then see that the zombies are coming down the stairs, and I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw the trailer about the zombies, I totally thought, oh my gosh, they're going to attack them and kill somebody, but that's not the role that they play at all. In fact, they come down those stairs and go to their respective places of death, or at least most of them do, because we saw that Gino went to the library. That's not where he died. But take, for example, Dana and Sasha, they were in the theater room, so that kind of pertained to the way they died. Then you had that girl in the very first episode who died in front of the tank. So, she was basically situated where the tank used to be. And then, of course, you had Ronnie, who was in the hot tub. And basically, they're not just set there. They had the task of handing out these puzzle pieces that the final three, Cam, Lindsay, and Chris, needed to complete their final challenge. And so their final challenge was basically this, I guess you could call it like a puzzle board, where they had a question mark. And the question mark consisted of 9 spaces. And each space needed to be filled with a puzzle piece. And in each space they had words written on them as well. And so, you had words like skill, logic, perception, and then the last one was instinct. So it was really cool to see that, because these are basically words that define what they would use to try and figure out the crimes, and when they would state their case, kind of explain to the killer, this is how you did it. So, you basically use perception, instinct, etc. to try and figure that out. So that was a really cool challenge, I thought. And speaking of instinct was the last one that they needed to get. And to complete that, you had to go up to the attic, and there was Giles. And so we saw this first with Cam, because he was the first one who made it to the attic and saw Giles. He was all free now, not tied up anymore. And basically Giles tells him that the challenge consists of going to a certain room where there is the contract. And, reading it all the way through, even the fine print, and then make a decision as to whether Giles is the killer or not, instead of a competitor there. And so it was funny to me, because at first, before the show even started, with the previews that were on TV, I kind of joked around and was like, what if the butler's the killer and not anybody who's competing for the money? So that just totally reminded me of that. And, I'm like, ooh, what if that is true? But I didn't think so. So, it turns out he actually wasn't. And I'm not lying about it, because I know there's a website where you can create tweets and make them look real, but they're actually fake. I don't know if there's a website like that for Facebook, but if it exists, I have no idea what the website is, and, you could choose to believe me or not. I'm just kind of fueling this idea in your brains that I'm lying, but I swear I'm not. And here is proof of my Facebook post. But anyway, so then we see that, after they've completed their puzzle pieces and have gotten all their answers correct, because there was this black light that would light up the puzzle pieces that were correct, and, there were a few pieces that each competitor got wrong. And so they had to go back to that little test and, redo it until they got the right puzzle piece. So the first one to complete it was Cam, and then he got a message to go to a certain room. And so then we see Chris is the next one to complete the puzzle piece, all the correct answers. And she also is designated to the room that Cam's in. And then we see Lindsay, who has a different message on her screen. So when I saw that she had a different message, I was like, ooh, she is probably going to be the next victim. And it turns out she was. She walked into this room where there was this knight, and he basically shoots an arrow at her throat, and she dies. So, talk about contradictory, because you know how the saying goes, knight in shining armor, but this guy was not that for Lindsay, unfortunately. So, camera focuses back on Chris and Cam before it goes into a commercial break, and they're just kind of in shock, whoa, she just died before our eyes, because they had a TV screen where they could see what had happened to Lindsay. And the two of them, Chris and Cam, are still trying to figure out what it is they need to find in that room, until it suddenly hits both of them that, oh gosh, we're the final two, which means one of us is taking the money home and the other one of us is the killer. So, of course, Chris is just all you're the killer, you were him all this time. But, Cam's denying it. So then it goes into a commercial break. And then we see that Chris is getting all into this, whole rhyme thing. And that's when she reveals that she is the sinner. And that Cam ends up the winner. So after that, Giles comes in, two cops come in, they arrest Chris, and Giles presents Cam with his prize of $250,000 in this suitcase. He made his way out of the mansion, and, there's all the victims of the WhoDunnit killer, Chris, and, they're saying their goodbyes to Cam as he gets into the limo, and Giles is gonna take him home. And that's where it ends. So, after seeing that finale, I got to thinking, I want to make some theories about what I think will happen in the next season and what can happen after that. If WhoDunnit brings a second season and more after that. Because as you guys know, WhoDunnit was originally from the UK, and they had 3 seasons, and those actually took place in the 70s. I was trying to look for any episodes online. I couldn't really come across any, so if you know of a website where I can watch those, please do share that. You can comment on here, or you can private message me. But anyway, I was thinking, okay, we saw that we saw the interaction between Cam and Chris when we find out that Chris is the killer, and so I thought, what if, for a brief moment, I thought, okay, what if she just decides to turn on him, kills him, and she's the one who ends up with the money? So that obviously didn't happen, but it is a potential ending for whether it's the second season or seasons after that. So it'd be really interesting to see that kind of a twist to the ending. And then, this is kind of looking way too far ahead, but, I'm gonna go ahead and share it with you guys anyway, because I think it's interesting. If WhoDunnit, after multiple seasons, does a reunion of the winners. So they bring back Cam, they bring back season 2, season 3 winners, etc., and put them in the mansion again. And then they again have to compete for money. And basically it's kind of who's the best of the best detective sleuth person, Kind of like a Dancing with the Stars All-Stars. But of course, different and, not with celebrities, necessarily. So, it was just a thought, and, I would be down to see that. I don't know about you guys. And, it'd be really interesting, though, to see, because they already had won money previously, I think it would be cool to see something where, instead of that money going to them personally, they can donate it to a good cause or something like that. So, ABC, heed my request, because that'd be really cool. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I am super eager for when WhoDunnit comes back. Hopefully they bring in a second season, and, I'll see you guys then. But, be sure to check out my other reviews. I've done reviews on Black Butler fanfics, so it's more like the anime side of my reviews. But I also do plan on reviewing and making theories on other things. So when Dancing with the Stars rolls along, I'll be doing that. I think with the next Bachelor season, I'll do that too. And then I definitely want to focus on books as well. There is a book I'm reading right now that's part of a series. I don't want to get too carried away talking about it, but I do plan on reviewing that as well. So, I'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, this goodbye is dragging on for too long. So, goodbye. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next review.